This Week in 40K.
Welcome to This Week in 40K, the show that is neither grim nor dark, but is about the grim dark. I am Colin, and with me, as always, is the wonderful, the glorious Billy.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I moved from the intro to being right on my chest.
That's right. It's true. I have two things completely not 40K related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not true. One of them is 40K adjacent.
Okay.
And I would like to start with these two things. This is two things on this Tuesday morning that Colin thinks are ridiculous. Okay. Thing number one. Do you know what the odds in Vegas are right now that the 49ers will win the Super Bowl?
7-1?
1,000 to 1. Do you know?
No, that's not true. It
is. It's 1,000 to 1 as of yesterday, according to all of the sports radio hosts here, because they're all mad because the Seahawks are 4,000 to 1. The Seahawks
plus 1,000 plus 4,000, 100 to 1, 400 to 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't understand how Vegas works.
Yeah, but same concept.
Okay, so my concept is, according to Vegas, it is 4 times more likely that the San Francisco 49ers will go to the Super Bowl than the Seahawks. Whose record is better right now, Billy?
The Seattle Seahawks have the better record.
Yeah. I think that we should have a bet about whose team will finish higher.
Okay.
All right.
I will, even odds, I will take whatever bet you would like.
The loser, I believe, has to buy a jersey of the other team and wear it on the show. Too expensive. Some sort of jerseys are really expensive. Some sort of merch and wear it on the show. Fair?
That is acceptable.
Okay. Second thing that I think is ridiculous on this Tuesday morning. Oh, yeah. There's 3 things I think are ridiculous. I have a new one that just came up.
Ridiculous morning. Second
thing. I am wearing the most comfortable t-shirt in my closet. Mm-hmm. This one that says that has that's over here. The Best in Tabletop logo. And Billy's wearing the one with the fantastic This Week in 40K. I spent way too long picking this merch for you all. Way too long. This is an incredibly comfortable shirt. Mm-hmm. It is very comfortable. I own a lot of t-shirts. I wear a t-shirt like 98% of the time.
Yes.
And this is the most comfortable one I own. It is soft as all get out. And as an added bonus, it supports Best in Tabletop. Mm-hmm. We have not sold very many shirts yet. I don't know why. So I thought I would just tell you guys that I think it's ridiculous that these shirts are so comfy and not particularly expensive and that we haven't sold more of them.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I'm wearing this because I am vain and it is comfy. I'm also drinking out of a neither grim nor dark coffee mug.
That mug, actually, that coffee mug looks very nice.
It's great quality. It was $13. I need a new coffee mug anyway. It's got the nice logo on this side.
Oh, wow.
It's got neither grim nor dark on this side. It's got more than enough volume to, moderately caffeinate me with 2 helpings, just as per always.
Yeah, if you're listening to us on the podcast, I am wearing the blue Best in Tabletop shirt with the shield on it, and Billy is wearing the gray This Week in 40K shirt with the fantastic This Week in 40K art on it. And he also has a This Week in 40K coffee mug. So if you are someone who gets up in the morning and watches the show with us, maybe you could have a This Week in 40K coffee mug as well. Fictitiously Famous says, wait, comfy shirt merch. I've been lacking in my support. Yes, it's bestintabletop.com/store. It's really hard to find.
I'm putting a link in the chat right now. And also, it comes super fast.
Yeah.
That came out wrong. It arrives at your house shortly after you order it. I think I ordered it on Thursday, and it was here yesterday. So
okay. Third thing Colin thinks are ridiculous. Our country, in general, doesn't like to vote.
Yes.
No, I know that this is not the thing you guys tuned in to hear. It is Tuesday. It is election day in America. It is a very significant, for those that aren't in our country, it's a very significant election. There's a lot of really important things riding. I would say the future of our country is being decided over the next several elections. If you don't vote, please consider voting. It is. There's a lot of countries in the world that wish that they could vote. According to the more conservative television stations, we are the only country with freedom. But that is actually not true. But there's lots of countries that wish that they could vote. There's lots of countries with higher voter turnout than us. Here's the deal that I believe, and this is an anecdote that lots of people say: if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. That's how I feel. If you vote for something and it doesn't win and you want to complain about that, go for it. But if it doesn't win and you didn't vote, then you didn't do the most basic thing you could have done to try to influence the impact. Remember that here on Best in Tabletop, we believe that everyone should be someone who makes things happen, not someone that things happen to. The most basic way you can make things happen is to vote. Everyone needs to vote. It's really important. Billy, did you vote?
I'm going to vote shortly after this. There is a voting place in my building. I prefer voting in person. I like the little strips you get from when they tear off your ballot, and the sticker is one of the highlights of my year. I put them on my mini case.
Okay. That's great. I don't know. I've done mail by mail for so long, but I think Washington State is all mail now. I don't think we have voting stations, which is cool. Honestly, there's no reason. I think it should all be on the internet. Like, I don't know why we're making people physically go to. I do know, and we're not going to talk about it right now. Okay, so those are the three ridiculous things that Colin woke up with on his mind this morning. Now let's talk about 40K.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, the thing is broken. Okay, hold on. Oh, there, it's working now. Here we go.
Our top story.
Expedition Daddy hit me. What's our top story?
Exposition, Dad.
What'd I say?
Expedition. I do not go places. I speak.
No,
and I know.
Neither do I.
Yes. Finally, after month, 6 weeks of not a lot of new releases, 40K is at least getting teased with stuff, if not actually released. Bunch of new guards stuff, both rules and minis. And then all of the new holiday army boxes were posted. So starting with the rules, Guard are apparently going up for pre-release this weekend. So we're going to get all of the Guard rules coming, Saturday morning at 2 a.m. Pacific time when the NDAs release. So everyone's favorite rules Christmas, especially in the Best in Tabletop Network Discord, you'll be able to see everything.
The iconic image from Dragon Ball Z where they're charging up. The people just sit.
Yeah.
And it just out from them. That is me with a guard codex on the way. I am literally sitting here as hype as I can hype. Just full hype at the moment.
Well, do you have any strong opinions about Cadians apparently getting exploding sixes to hit in shooting and Vengeance for Cadia? I would say they're less mad about Cadia. They now get +1 to wound chaos things as opposed to full hit and reroll wounds.
I hate all the special versus faction stuff. It's all stupid.
Okay.
It's not good for the game. It makes balancing really difficult. It makes the meta extra confusing when the problem is that they do that way too powerful. It's not minor at all. Like +1 to wound. Come on. Anyways.
Well, it used to be full hit and wound rerolls, right?
For one unit with command.
It's still a strat. It's just
okay.
That's what the strat.
I thought you were saying the whole army could do it.
No. The whole army, I think, if I read the article correctly, gets exploding sixes to hit on shooting.
Okay.
Or at least shock troops. I don't know if all Cadians are shock troops.
I don't necessarily want to play the most boring guard in Cadians. They're the Ultramarines of Imperial Guard. They're like seriously the most generic ones.
Sure. I take your point. They are certainly the poster child of Guard, although I remember a time when that was the Catechins because we liked Rambo more than we liked generic, modern-ish looking Guard.
Right.
And yeah, Vengeance for Cadia is switched from, it was full wound rerolls or was it full hit and wound rerolls?
Hit and wound rerolls for 1 CP.
It's now just +1 to wound.
Okay,
chaos
well
things.
that's an improvement. I still think those stratagems shouldn't exist, but no one asked me, so that's fine.
So we got those rules, and then new minis. The thing to talk about with Guard is they're getting some really sweet minis, all the new stuff. They're getting beautiful book cover, and all that is coming out on Black Friday. In the announcement for that, it was announced that none of that would be sold individually until sometime in the next year, which means, similar to what happened, I believe, when the Orcs got their big box and the book was in it, and then it wasn't released for a while, and we're in this weird nether world with rules. I'm curious to see how events will handle that, because it feels to me a lot like, showing kids their toys on Christmas morning and saying, you don't get to play with this until Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that GW doesn't think that through. I think that's a mistake they've made before, and it's a mistake they'll make again. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that hits.
Yeah. So that's happening. New army boxes. Some of the, as always, some of them look like great values. I think you can get almost an entire Custodes army.
Yeah, I had the same thought when I looked at it.
It's probably 2,000 points, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is.
15 dudes, 3 Terminators, Trajan, another character, and 3 bikes.
Yeah, it's close. I think you need. I think that's probably more like 1,500, 1,600, but it's close.
Buy 3 more bikes and you're there, sort of a thing. The Sisters one is a bunch of just the new models. If Nundums were a thing, it would be amazing. There's a AdMech one that is all the stuff that no one's playing right now. It's all the robots and crawlers and such.
We should say, for those that don't know, these Battle Force box sets are usually an incredible deal.
Yeah.
Like when I played Triptide back in 8th edition, I literally just bought 3 of the Battle Force box sets, and I had the entire army. Like, had the 3 Riptides, had the 9, however many suit commanders it was, 3 suit commanders, had it all. We have an emergency question. Tim the Sorcerer would like to know what size shirts are Colin and Billy wearing.
I was replying in chat, but this is a 2XL. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 200-ish pounds. I should be smaller than I am, but I like my clothes a little baggy. 2XL here. 2XL fits like this, nice and loose.
Very, very flattering. Mm-hmm. I am wearing a 3XL, for I am 6'4", 3 something. I should have bought a 4XL. It fits me fine, but it's a little bit tight, and I would like it to be a little bit loose like Billy does. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys in figuring out what shirts you should buy.
Yeah, I tend to buy.
Fattest I've ever been.
Pushing it. Not happy about it. As I was saying to Colin before the show started, the statement "we are pregnant" is really way more true than I gave anyone credit for before my wife and I became pregnant. Anyway,
does anyone want to have a best in tabletop weight loss challenge? Like, should we get a whole bunch of people trying to lose weight together and be motivational to each other?
Yeah, let's start after Thanksgiving.
Or after Christmas.
Something like that.
Well, because like my birthday's in between those 2 things.
I don't know how much food is important to you on your birthday.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we should. And that would be a wonderful thing for us to track on this show, where we have something weekly where we can just have a check-in and be supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Also,
I would like to not die soon.
Yes.
That's a thing that I feel strongly about.
It's high on my priority list most days.
Now you have a kid coming too.
I do.
You should be alive for that kid to grow up. That helps that kid.
So I hear, and I'm really looking forward to it. Not just because of what we're going through to get there, but like the actual kid herself, gender reveal, having a girl, very excited.
Okay.
Back to 40K and good
Wandering
deals.
Goat in Chicago. It says New Year's evil resolution. Maybe New Year's evil resolution. Okay. I'm not sure that's what he meant to type, but that's wonderful. And we're presuming it's a he because it's 40K.
Well,
Sorry, Wandering Goat, if you're a woman. I don't mean any
if you
offense.
are, please help us bring more of you into the fold.
As of a few months ago, YouTube still said we had never had a woman watch a show,
which I
can't
know is
possibly
false.
be true. Yeah.
No, I have a wife and a mother who have both at least watched some of these shows, and apparently to do some more network showing, my mother loves sharing the Chasing the Narrative that we did together.
Well, yeah, that's because it's wonderful.
It is, and you should all go check it out.
Yes. Okay. Also, I guess we'll move on to what's new.
Okay. Well,
What's new?
Which I think you just did.
Yeah, just to finish out the few things that are still released that you should be aware of. If you like the holiday mini, there's a cool orc who's rocking out with a grenade in his hand like it's a microphone. It's cool. Those aren't my thing, but I know people love them. And then this one might have missed some people's radar, but that new Demon Prince that was spoiled back in the summer finally is getting released in an AOS box. So if you want some, Chaos Warriors along with like one of the coolest Demon Princes ever, check that guy out.
All right. I have some news.
No, please.
Billy and I, are going to start doing a show called This Month in 40K. We're going to do it once a month, and we're going to do a meta recap of the month rather than going through tournaments. We're going to talk about meta trends and what's winning and win percentages and what the meta looks like. And we're going to do that once a month. And we're going to do that once a month for our members. That is going to be 100% private show for the members of the YouTube. We are a network that does not put ads into our programs other than for our own stuff. That's important to me. I'm open to that changing, and don't think I'm committing to that not changing ever. But I think that advertisements in podcasts and YouTube shows actually detract from the enjoyment of that content. I think that they are irritating in a way that makes the content less quality. I don't want that. I've never wanted that. And so what I want to tell you guys is the network is fun, and we're growing, and we're all of our numbers, downloads, live views, all that stuff is going up. Things are going well. I will share with you all that the network still loses money at the moment. I'm happy to support that, but I would like to be able to pay the content creators more compensation that I'm doing, which is not a great deal. And I would like to grow more and do more things for you guys. So if you are not supporting us, it would mean a lot to me and everyone at the Best in Tabletop Network if you did. You can go to patreon.com/bestintabletop and you can join our Discord, which is, I've been told by 30 people probably, is the best Discord in all of 40K. We talk about everything. If you are having a tough time in your life, there's a place for that. If you are having a tough time with your hobby, there's a place for that. If you're having a tough time with your football team, there's a place for that. We have all of these different chats. They're active. People are just wonderful to each other. I and the other admins are very careful about the place getting too negative or anyone being mean, overly mean. It is a joyous place. Also, you can go to our YouTube and you can sign up there. There's a special one that gives you the Discord and the YouTube that you'll find there. And the YouTube gets you the extra bit reps that we don't post publicly. It's going to get you This Month in 40K. And we're also looking at the other shows doing something special behind that in that member area as well. We are redoing the website for the content calendar and also what you get if you're a member, and all of that will be very clear very soon. I was going to announce it today, but then I had an idea last night that needs to be fleshed out first. That's basically how things work if you're on Colin's network. So I just wanted you guys to know that the two best ways to support us are: first, subscribing. First, tell everybody about us. Second, subscribe to either the Patreon or YouTube. Third, merchandise. And I'm only putting merchandise third because we have lower margin on it. That's the only reason why. Like, they have to physically make the shirt and ship it to you. We don't get that money. So I just wanted you guys to know that that's kind of what's going on. Also, this week on Saturday or Sunday, it's not announced yet. We're going to have Beth Pod recording, so that'll be fun. And Frontiers is on Thursday, I believe. I meant to ask them last night, and I forgot. And we're also going to have, in the next couple days, our Las Vegas team tournament special is going to be going live. It's been a little while since the Las Vegas team tournament, but we were making a thing that has, as far as I know, hasn't been made by anyone in 40K, and it took time to figure that out. If you guys like it, we will keep doing it, and it will not take as long next time. But what it is it's 2 episodes. They're about 40 minutes long each, and it walks you through the team tournament. It talks about pairings. It talks about how the games went, what we expected. Everybody talks about their games at a high level. It's supposed to be a walk through what a team tournament is like. That's what it's supposed to be. And there's only one more piece of information our producer Chris needs from me, which I'm going to try to get him today so that can get done. Okay. That's it. That's what's new.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
What's winning?
Billy's what's winning.
Yes, at life. But
Billy's got a baby coming. He's got a great shirt. He's got a fantastic coffee mug. Billy begged for a really long time to have his cartoon picture finished.
Yes.
So I'm very happy for Billy.
I don't need monetary compensation from this network. I have received my compensation, immortalization as a 40K cartoon.
Do you think it looks like you?
Everyone else thinks it looks more like me than I do. I think it's sort of like your own voice. You don't really know what you look like. And so I am very pleased with the rendition.
I like how skinny I am.
Yeah.
I actually look smaller than you on the artwork. It looks like you actually have broader shoulders and are bigger than me, and I think that's wonderful.
I can be the broad shoulders of this show.
It's because that show is in the upside down. That's why. Everything's different.
It really is.
Yeah, everything's different. We're also in front of a city that's on fire, which, might not be entirely untrue after today.
It's the grim dark in the background, but we bring the neither grim nor dark to the foreground.
Right, at our fancy table. I'm with you. Okay, so basically everything's winning. We still have a meta that has a lot of different people performing. I would say that my take is that the lists are still a little boring. We seem relatively solved with what you should take from each list. We're seeing some creative work with the Demons Codex because it's still the newest book. It's still the newest book, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're still seeing some creativity from the Demons. Necrons, nothing interesting, nothing new and interesting happening there. We saw some Chaos Space Marines perform. We saw some Harlequins perform. We saw some Tau perform. None of those lists are particularly different from the other things we've seen. We'll talk through some tournaments and we'll see what we can learn. I'm just making sure. All right. So tournament number 1 is, okay, so Billy, explain to me again, what the heck happened in Coventry?
All right. Any of the 6 of you currently in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that they had at the same location both a 3-day event and a 2-day event. One of them, I have to imagine, started on Friday and went through Sunday, and one of them was Saturday and Sunday. The thinking being, those wild and crazy kids who can get after it go to the 3-day event and win all of the big stuff. And then the more mature grown-ups, such as Colin and Billy, who have slightly more real-life responsibilities, go for 2 days, have fun, and still get 2 days worth of events. So 2 separate events, same location, same people putting it on, just one had an extra day.
And Coventry's in the UK, for those that don't know.
Yes. Well, I don't know where, and I wanted to look up where.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll do that.
The Coventry Carol is a famous Christmas song.
Is it?
Yeah. I was trying to think of which one it is. The kids said that there weren't that many Christmas songs to Stephanie and I the other day, and we were driving, and Stephanie and I just went back and forth singing a few lines of each Christmas song, and we got to like 70 something before the kids just couldn't take anymore. There's so much Christmas music. Anyways, okay, the Coventry 3-day, 150 people, 8 rounds, won by. Oh, I have my tournaments backwards here. Hold on. I have my 3-day, won by Mike Porter with his Harlequins. Looking at his Harlequins, they are actually light, which makes me wonder if this is pre-data slate. That's a thing that's hard for us to know.
It had the data slate.
It did? Okay.
Yeah.
He has 6x5 Harlequins. They do not have fusion guns because data slate. He has a Death Jester, a unit of 2 Skyweavers that have the Shuriken and the Star Bowlers. That's the way Billy and I like it. Then 6 Star Weavers to put those 6 units in, and then another detachment that has 2 more units of 5 and 2 more Star Weavers. This is basically the meta list for Harlequins right now. It's 8 boats with 5 dudes in each boat, 2 Shadow Seers, a Troop Master, and 2 Death Jesters. Is what we're seeing. This particular one has a couple bikes instead of the second Death Jester. That's what's different. But Mike Porter is a guy who's won a crazy amount of tournaments, and good job to him.
Yes.
He was the top of the ITC for a bunch of a season. 2019, I think. Next up is Jake Wilstrop, which is fun to say. And he had a 1,000 Suns with Demons list. This is going to be... Oh, actually, no. His is only 1,000 Suns. Excuse me.
Really? No Flamers.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't give this list enough credit. I apologize. This is a 1,000 Suns list. And it has Ahriman, Exalted Sorcerer, Infernal Master. That's normal. 3x5 rubrics. That's normal as well. And then 3x10 Terminators. And 1 Chaos Ball. I don't think I've seen 30 Terminators. I think that's new. That's 1,290 points of Terminators in that list. Woo! That's saucy. That's a lot of Terminators. And he went 7-1. And he got 29 more battle points than the second highest 2nd-1, which we're about to talk about right now because it's Innis. Innis played Genestealer Cult, and he rocked the thing where you have 3x8 units of Jackals with the 2 Wolf Quads each, and you have the ability to resurrect them. So they're like a bit durable, and then each turn you bring some of them back using the Icon Ward and stuff, and so you can bring them back. And so the idea is that they are an irritating thing that's in the way, and then as they die, they come back, and they're just difficult to deal with. And meanwhile, you've got big units of Neophytes with great guns that are in deep strike. He's got 4x20s of Neophytes with shotguns and seismic cannons, which is just great. I play with some of that as well. I personally like to put the Flamers in those units so that when they deep strike in, they can flame the hell out of people with +1 to wound. He doesn't have that, but that's fine. He has 2 units of 5 Acolytes, I presume, to do R&D. He's got a Primus, and then he's got a Kellamorph, a Nexus, a Sanctus Clamavis, and 10 Pure Strains that have the 10 Pure Strains have the, hey, the game just started, we can go wherever the heck we want. Actually, they might have the, I know, actually, it looks like they have the 3d6 Deep Strike Charge. That's the wrong thing. So good job, Innis. Going 7-1 with Genestealer Cult is really impressive. He must have played his posterior off. Next up we have Nassim Fuchain.
Nassim Fuchain, yeah.
Nassim Fuchain.
Yeah.
And he played Farsight Enclaves with basically what you'd expect, bombers, big units of Crisis, but he has 2 Riptides. Usually it's 1 Riptide that we see. He's got 2, so that's how his list is different. Then next up,
can we hold with Nassim for 1 second?
Sure.
You remember a week or 2 ago we were talking about how one of the reasons that Space Marines win rate was down was that all of the good players had options and had moved on. Nassim had been crushing with Iron Hands, and if he's off of Iron Hands, I think that's put your Marines down until they get some new rules if you want to be percolating to the top of win rates.
Okay.
So sorry, I missed you. The Tyranid player in 5th.
Yeah, Dan Ahern.
Ahern, probably.
Yeah. He was playing Kraken, which I think is going to be very popular with how hard Leviathan got hit. He's got Tyrant Guard, Neurothrope, Winged Hive Tyrant, 2 units of 3 Pyrovores, 2 Parasites of Mortex, which I've not seen, 3x5 Raveners, because they're amazing, 2 Biovores, 2 Harpies, and a Tyrannocyte. This is incredibly close to what John Lennon is playing and winning with. But this is John doesn't play Harpies, but this is a very solid list. Kraken is very fast, hits very hard. It doesn't have the same durability as Leviathan Warriors, but it's just as good, and you can still play it, unlike Leviathan Warriors.
The Parasite isn't a named character. It's the Parasite of Mortrax, but a bunch of them can show up.
It doesn't have the in its name,
it's just a Parasite of.
It's
Mortrax.
a parasite of. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Learn something new every day.
All right. 6th place, by the way, was our good friend of the network, Anthony Violence Vanilla. 6th place at Coventry, going 6-2 with Emperor's Children. So shout out to Anthony. If you guys don't know Anthony, he's one of the best humans on the planet.
Good guy.
Yep. All right. Now the 2-day Coventry event, won by Dennis.
Just go for it.
Naber Zing.
Oh, I have to see how this is spelled now.
Well, Dennis's last name at the end of it has a 6-letter combination that is ZHNYKH.
Zhinik.
And that is not a
Nabergenik.
I'm familiar with. Nabergenik. Okay. Yeah. And is it Dennis or Denise? Because
that I don't know, but that's like a more Eastern European kind of a thing, and that's trying to make up for letters that don't exist in the English alphabet.
Okay, fair enough. We had Russian exchange students when it was still the Soviet Union, and the one that stayed with us was Denise, and it was DNIS. So that's why I was wondering.
Could very well be.
Yeah. By the way, my brother went over there and went to Razov, Russia, which was a military city, and was the first Americans in 100 years to step foot in that city. When this is before the fall of the Soviet Union. Just a neat thing, neat family trivia thing. By the way, my brother had a miserable time visiting the Soviet Union. That's actually not where you should send a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, like there were all types of problems. Like my brother's a picky eater, and so there wasn't food that he liked, and the family he was staying with was kind, but they were so poverty stricken by our comparison that they stole his cassette tapes and blue jeans the first night he was there and sold them on the black market. And they brought him back clothes and stuff to bring home to us. Like they thought what they were doing was completely fine. While he was sleeping, they took the very high value blue jeans. And so anyways, it's an interesting story. He did come back with a suitcase full of black market material after all of this stuff. And like he has the big furry, the coat that Sean Connery wears in Red October, the big furry coat with the big furry hat.
Yeah.
Rob has those. Anyways, it's great. Okay. So I'm going to talk about 40K again now. So Dennis played Necrons. It is a Silent King list. The only thing I'll call out here is he does have a Doomsday Arc, which people don't tend to take. But other than that, it's just this is a heavy Scarab build with some Catons. Okay. Good job, Dennis. We've just talked about Necrons enough. Second place is Josh Roberts. He's won a lot of stuff. I believe he's also Team England, just like Mike Porter is. And Josh got second place with Emperor's Children. It is a fairly standard Emperor's Children list. He's taking 5 units of Noise Brains with the 1 gun, as we've been talking about how popular that is. He has 1 unit of Possessed, 1 unit of Cultists, the unit of 10 Terminators, and 1 Venom Crawler with Abaddon. Pretty standard Emperor's Children list. Okay, next up, we've got the third place finisher of David Gaylord Gaylord, excuse me. Also an incredibly accomplished player, someone else who's been in the top of the ITC for a long time before. He took Thousand Suns with Flamers, I think. Nope, not with Flamers. Thousand Suns with Magnus.
Okay.
Aramon, Exalted Sorcerer, and Fertile Master. That's the trifecta for the start of most Thousand Suns lists. 3x5 rubrics, again, pretty standard. 1 unit of Terminators, 2 units of 4 Chaos Spawn. I actually love the units of 4 Chaos Spawn. I think that they do excellent work in the Thousand Suns because they're so inexpensive for their wounds and their punch, and they're relatively fast. You can give them an invul too. I don't know if this list can do that, but that's possible as well.
Let me do some live fact checking of you. You're reading Simon Edwards, the 4th place lists, and attributing it to David Gaylord, the 3rd place player.
Oh, okay. I apologize. My list got out of order, and people don't have their names on their lists in BCP. So
No.
I apologize. So I'm talking about Simon Edwards from the Stasis Crypt, which is a cool name for a group.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I talked about his list. Good job, me. Now we'll go back to 3rd place, as everyone does, and talk about David Gaylord's Demons list. There's the Flamers I was expecting, Billy. When I went into the list, I'm like, where's the Flamers at? So, Bloodthirster, Changecaster, Transweaver. I don't actually know what the Transweaver does. I haven't seen him yet.
It's the Slanesh Herald.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's really into electronica?
Yeah.
Spoons. 2 units of Bloodletters, 2 units of Demonettes, and 3x5 Flamers. And chilling in the other detachment is Bellicor and another unit of Bloodletters. This is basically all the data sheets that are good from that book, so nothing in here is pretty surprising.
Yeah. The one thing to point out about this, because I saw it in a bunch of other demon lists, is that patrol of Bellicor and Bloodletters. Before the data slate, Bellicor and his own detachment unlocked all of the Warp Storm tables because Bellicor had all of those keywords. They made it so that didn't work. And people seem to think that the Khorne table is the best one, so they just put Bellicor with a unit of Bloodletters and a patrol.
And call them Khorne.
Yeah. So that gets you the Khorne table.
That makes sense. And finally, we will talk about Mark Crumbleholm. These are all names that we've said a million times, by the way. These tournaments were won by the people that usually win. Okay, so he played Necrons as well. He has the Scarab heavy version. He has 2 Annihilation barges, which surprised me. And then 3 units of Tomb Blades, and one of the units of Tomb Blades is huge, which I've also not seen. It's a 9. So that's pretty interesting. I haven't really seen that. So good job for having a little bit of variety there, Mr. Mark Crumbleholm. By the way, I did get reached out to by the Inari player that did so well last weekend, and his list was based off of us, Billy.
Woo!
Yeah, so I thought you'd appreciate that.
I do.
Okay, finally, from the tournaments Colin's talking about, we have the Flames of Autumn 40K Major at Tables and Towers somewhere in our country.
Westminster, Maryland.
51 players, 6 rounds, won by the man, the myth, the legend, the Gagno. Andrew Gagno has won this event. I always like to shout out what an amazing human Andrew is. Andrew took almost entirely all of COVID off from 40K. He had started a family. They have at least 1 baby. They might have 2. I think they have the 1. He wasn't able to go to Charity Hammer because of it. I'm a huge fan of Andrew's. I love it when he does well. Andrew's actually one of the first big interviews Best in Faction got that helped us. It was Andrew, Nick Nanavati, and Brandon Grant were the first 3 big gets that we got that really launched the show. So anyways, Andrew played Tau and Farsight Enclaves. He has 2 commanders in Cold Star Battlesuit, 2 Breacher teams, a Carnivores, 3 Riptides, 2 Sun Sharks, and 2 Devilfish. Triple Riptide is not a thing we've really been seeing. So I suspect that this list blows the crap out of you, I think is what this list does. So good job, Andrew Gagno, with his Farsight Enclaves. Next up, we have Aiden Barclay with Iron Warriors. Iron Warriors haven't won a lot so far, but he's got Iron Warriors here with Dark Apostle, Lord Discord, and Master of Possession. Again, really common start to the list. If you're wondering, yes, Abaddon's in the list. 3x10 cultists, big unit of Terminators, big unit of Plague Marines, which I didn't know could sneak in here.
Yeah,
that was surprising to me.
You can put all of the cult Marines in; they just become elites, not troops, and it works.
Okay.
And you can't put Plague Marines in Emperor's Children because Nurgle Slanesh sort of a thing.
Right. Unit of Possessed, unit of Rubric Marines, Chaos Land Raider, and then Abaddon. So that Land Raider is real durable, I believe is the trick there.
Mm-hmm.
Third place was Matt Laura, who was a finalist at LVO in the final round against Mr. Richard Sigler. This is a Bloody Rose list for Matt Laura. So he's not playing Custodes anymore. I think he was playing Custodes in the... maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Canonist, Celestine, Vol, 3 units of Battle Sisters, 2 units of Arcoflagellants, 995 of Repentia, 999 of Zephyrim. That's a lot of Zephyrim. And only one unit of Retributors and a Rhino. So similar to what other Bloody Rose players are playing, heavier on the Repentia and Zephyrim, lighter on the Retributors is how I would describe this list. And then plus Celestine. Not everybody takes Celestine. All right. Next up is, I'm sorry, my allergies are trying to kill me. Larry Oliver, who is, again, a great player who's done a lot in his 40K career. He has a Kraken list, because, again, that's what we're doing now. 2 Neurothropes and a Winged Hive Tyrant, Hormagaunts, 2 big units of Tyranid Warriors, Tyrant Guard, 2 units of Venomthropes, a unit of Zoanthropes, actually 3 Zoanthropes, and 3 Tyrannofexes. Flame on, says this list. I think this list is super dope. I love the 3 Tyrannofexes. I bet that surprised so many people. Really, really cool. Special shout out to Larry Oliver. Next up, we've got Jeffrey Kolodner. He also had sisters. So, just think about the 3 tournaments I've covered. We've had Demons. We've had Thousand Sons. We've had Iron Warriors. We've had Emperor's Children. We've had Sisters. We've had Tau. We've had Tyranids. We've had no Eldar, but we have had Harlequins. That's an incredible amount of variety, right, Billy?
Yes, and we're going to get Craft Worlds in some of my events.
Okay. So finally from me, Jeffrey Kolodner, he got 5th place at this event with his Sisters of Battle list. This is not Bloody Rose, it's Valorous Heart. And he's got Old Tom the Inquisitor. That's what he calls
an actual unit name, Old Tom?
No, I think that he just put that in there.
Okay.
And then he's got an Warrior Superior Bridget Canonist. I don't know what that means. These are names. That's what they are. He's got his Canonist. He's got Celestine. He's got Morven Val. 3 units of Battle Sisters. Big unit of Sacrosancts. A Dogmata. 2 units of Paragon Warsuits. A unit of Dominions. A unit of Seraphim. 2 units of Mortifiers. And a big unit of Retributors. So different approach to Sisters. So good job to him. Certainly fun to see something other than Bloody Rose doing well. So good job. Big shout out to Jeffrey Kolodner from Battle Unready. All right, Billy, take it from here, man.
All right, 4 events, about 15 minutes to go. We'll do some version of Micro Machine Man's here. We had the Mid-Mo Maelstrom out of Ashland, Missouri, and really for acoustics, Mid-Mo Maelstrom of Ashland Mo. So they leaned into it. 47 players, 5 rounds, won by Sam Henley with Chaos Demons, Bellicor, Bloodthirster, Lord of Change, and then 16 Flamers. Assorted small guys to make it work, but that's the heart of that list. Dan Salmons, regular name around these parts. He was in 2nd place, 5-0 with Kraken Nids. Kraken, if Leviathan was big blocks of warriors, Kraken seems to always have at least 2 Raveners units. So had that one, had a Harpy, and then just a bunch of little play the mission stuff. One of your Gargoyles, Pyrovores, like single Pyrovores, he could be all over the board. mentioned that craft rolls would show up. They did in the hands of Ryan Olson, who was in third place at 4-1. He ran Hail. He had 2 Falcons that looked like they got loaded up with some Dire Avengers, and then he was just very MSU after that. All 5-man units had Baroth in there, no Webway Gate, but that's an army that will play the mission very well and still will hit like a ton of bricks. But I don't know. If you look at the rest of this, it's Demons, Nids, Craft Worlds, Nids, and then an interesting Imperial mashup. Not a lot of armor and contempt, so Hail still will shred all of those kinds of Winter's metas. Fourth place, we have Ryan Verbeck. He sticking with Leviathan, but slightly more big bugs approach to it, which my understanding is sort of what Leviathan was supposed to be before everyone realized, oh, wait, medium bugs are just better in the old rules of it. So we had 2 Tyrannofexes, 2 units of 3 Zoanthropes. He had a Sporicist. Remind me, the Sporicist is the thing that it just vomits out Spore Mines. You're muted if you care, Colin. But
I do care, Billy. I care. Do you not understand how much I care?
I mean, I had a sense, but I've been trained from years of working in this fashion to just like work, not podcasting. To just say, if you care, you're on mute.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't remember why you called on me, but yes, I agree with whatever you were saying.
Sporocysts vomit out spore mines.
That's
what
correct.
they do.
Yes, and Tyrannocides carry troops. Sporocyst,
Right.
Spore, Tyrannoset, T for transport.
T for transport. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good one. And then finally, in 5th place was a fun Imperial mashup that I'm sure would warm Mitch's heart. It was 2 tank commanders and a bunch of guard, and then a detachment of Drago, Grandmaster Dread Knight, 2 regular Dread Knights, and some interceptors. So making that Imperium work, I appreciate the fact that Guard has actually made tables recently. Like, people are putting them out there, and I'm really excited for all the Guard players to get to play their NPC faction in the real world. That's my, editorializing.
What?
We had
take a shot at them.
Much more accurately than they can shoot too. Yes. Are
they more or less accurate than the 49ers quarterback?
They are just as willing to follow orders and throw regardless of the robber safety that's coming down to intercept him in the middle of the field. But people aren't here for detailed analysis.
That was very clever, and I think that we should give you credit for that. Please continue on talking about 40K.
Yeah. The Bembel Clash number 5 out of Herzenheim, Germany. 38 players, 5 rounds. This was won by Pierre Sinke. I'm not sure if the E is pronounced or not. He was playing clowns. He was playing light. He only had 6 boats, then 2x2 bikes, and 1-in-1 of voids. So 2 void weavers in single units. I guess he likes the voids a little bit. They allow the clowns to actually punch into harder targets, which the absence of fusions would make challenging. Second place, Mario Barkeeper, which, if that's his real last name, I'm a big fan. He was with Nids 4-0-1. He was playing Jormungandr, which I can never remember. Are they the cover in general?
No, actually.
What's Jormungandr?
I don't remember. There
Okay.
you go.
There we go.
We're a great show.
Indeed. He big bugs, so it must do something good for big bugs. 2 Tyrannocytes, 1 Maleceptor, 2 Carnifexes. Mario likes his big bugs. We had an actually interesting Blood Angels list, and Colin walks away, so he's not going to hear about this interesting Blood Angels list. But Michael Geringer only took 2 units of Sangard. He also had a Land Speeder, he had Interceptors, and he had Eradicators. Good on you, Michael, for breaking some of the mold there and not just bringing every man with jump packs on it. Oh, I believe we're getting a Jormungandr update is what's happening here when Colin gets his headphones on. And the interesting, yes, Jormungandr update. Does that still have the plastic on it? You're still muted, Colin. Yes, fictitiously famous Imperial Guard guy was Kyle McCord. Apologies for not saying Kyle's name.
Do you remember the thing where there were supply chain issues? I don't believe in using. I think that we should own all the codexes if we're going to play with them. But I wasn't able to buy a Tyranid codex for a long time. So I had to use the PDF to play Tyranids, and I bought the codex and I put it in my closet, and I never actually opened it. So now I've got. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Oh,
it does have
every time. It reminds me of playing Magic the Gathering. every damn time. The smell smells like a pack, so strong. But yeah, why did I get this out? Well, because I want to tell you guys what Jormungar does. So let's see here. They are the cover one.
Look at me knowing my rules.
I thought Gorgon was the cover one. Yeah, I'm just wrong. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. There's too much rules to have it to be a master of them all.
And what you missed when you were getting the book is there was a Blood Angels player in third place who did not bring 21 Sanguinary Guard. He only brought 14.
Okay.
And I thought that was interesting. Florian got to move a little bit faster.
What variety?
Look, he had Inceptors and Eradicators in Blood Angels. The man did not take the stock list, and he went 4-1.
Okay.
Florian Schmidt, fourth place. He brought Twilight, 6 boats with dudes, shooty bikes 2 and 3, and then 2 melee bikes, and he brought 3 Death Jesters. So this man did not want to see single characters walking around the table. I think that's kind of cool. I wanted 3 Death Jesters to be a bit more viable than I ever found them, but good on you, Florian, for making it work. Fifth place, Jan Poljak. Poljak is more fun to my American voice to say, but it's probably a soft J. He played with Custodes, 4-1, 3 Dreads, a Caladius, 4 bikes and 3 bikes. Good on you, Jan. You don't have that many units to talk about, so that's what you get. We had the Hobart GT 2022 in Hobart, Australia, and I reached out to our intrepid Frontiers friends to tell me a little bit about the Hobart GT. So let me regale you with some facts about that.
I am prepared to be regaled.
All right. Matt Morsoli won the event, which we'll get to in a moment. People know who Matt Morsoli is, but if you don't, Art of War coach, Team Australia, recent WTC.
Much better than everybody else.
Yes. We should mention to shout out Liam Hogwood, who is an absolute savage in Tasmania. He finished in 5th and lost to Morsoli in the final round, which sadly dropped him out of the podium spots. He's a gentleman and a very good Tasmanian-based player. Hobart is in Tasmania, which is that little island east of Australia mainland. The Tasmanian scene is growing. Well, my question was on the level of that's juvenile but fine to no, don't do that. How are jokes about that Tasmanian devil? And I have not gotten a response. So I don't know. But if you want to learn more about the Tasmanian scene, you can listen to episode 10 of 40K Frontiers.
All right.
Our intrepid Frontiers friends are helping
us out. Is that it? Are we done?
We are done. Well, and now let's actually talk about the event. Won by Matt Morsoli, Chaos Demons, Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, in a Corn Detachment, 15 Flamers, some dudes. If you have less than 12 Flamers, I think you're making a mistake. I think you want one of a Bloodthirster, at least a Bloodthirster and or Be'lakor. I think more Bloodthirsters and Scarbrand are awesome. Scarbrand is so cool. But it doesn't show up. So good on you, Matt. Second place, Lance Glover, 4-1 with Kraken Nids, 2 Harpies, 2 Flyrants, 2 units of Raveners. This man is fast and flying around. We got Will Morton playing Imperial Knights with a Free Blade. So that's 1 Paladin and 10 Small Knights, 3 Moirax, 3 Helvrin, 4 Warglaves. I have not been shamed like Colin has, so I do not have to try to figure out what individual war gear choices on Knights are. These are the ones that are unkillable because the Paladin just makes them so. Gene Seal Occult having another result here in 4th place. Stuart Trainer. He had 120 neophytes.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of blasting charges.
Yeah.
And then 27 jackals.
Okay. That's literally what we were talking about.
Yep.
That's the same concept as Innis's List.
Yeah.
Just to tie it all together.
Even more neophytes. Liam Hogwood, 5th place per the shout out here. Emperor's Children. He, instead of the second unit of 5 possessed, he made them Terminators. He had 3 Venom Crawlers. Yeah, that's cool. And then just want to say 6th and 7th place were both Ulthway lists. we're elf fans here. The first one had an avatar, and then like all the ways to be non-interactive in shooting. The second one had 10 total wraiths, 5 wraith blades, 5 wraith guards with scythes. I thought that was fun and worth a shout out. And then the final event that we will be talking about is Ragnarok, the 40K major in England. Because if you were not one of the 261 people who could make it to Coventry, be one of the 26 players who made it to wherever Ragnarok was.
What a crazy
This was won by Clement Tornade, playing Inari. He ran 3 units Rangers and 3 units troops. Man after my own heart. No D cannons, though. Clement, try them. We think they're amazing. Also, you ran Swooping Hawks. Just try some Shroud Runners. Just try them.
They're very
but
fun.
I've also never finished 6-0 in an event. I'm sincerely not saying you're wrong and I'm right. I'm just saying try them. Second place, Stuart Bull with Chaos Demons. He only had 12 flamers. He had Bellacorn and Bloodthirster. He then had the Tzeentch and Slanesh Herald, and then some small ones. He had 3 Fiends. We haven't seen Fiends. And he had that Corn detachment thing that I was talking about earlier. We have Ross Penfold for 1-1 with Tau. He ran Triptide and 2 bombers, and then just a bunch of dudes on foot. No fish for them to hop out of. Just Tau on foot, hanging out around 3 Riptides and 2 bombers. Michael Cobb with Custodes, 4-2 in 4th place.
Giving
he had
people
8
the Cobb.
bikes. Yep, 8 bikes, bunch of dudes on foot. And then James Woodling, bringing back Bile. 5th place, 4-2 with Bile. All of the usual stuff you're going to see. He had a big unit of Chosen and 3 Obliterators, proving that you can play 270 points down and still finish 4-2. Yes,
Without looking at that list, looking at the pairings, I'm going to guess that he lost to the Tau player.
That would be a challenging matchup. Yes,
I'm just making that prediction.
Well, we have 2 or 3 minutes here. Let's see if I can figure it out.
No, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm going to because I'm neurotic.
Does anyone want to see footage of my lab sleeping cute next to me? I think so. Here we go. Look at that. All morning, every morning. That's what's up.
Just for the record, you would be wrong. He lost to the Inari player and to the Custodes player.
Yeah, okay. The Custodes player is surprising.
Custodes players sometimes just roll their 4-ups.
That's true. And fair.
Yeah.
All right. We have 2 minutes left. What do you want to talk about?
You want to talk about Jimmy's inability to not throw to his first read even when it's covered, and the dramatic drop off he has when he's actually pressured up compared to his success rate?
We watched 2 Halloween movies last week.
Ooh, what did you watch? That's much more fun.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, we did too.
Which I thought was delightful.
Absolutely.
And I thought that it was one of the better sequels 20 years later.
Yeah.
And we also watched... What?
The Roombas that she was flying around on.
Yeah, it was good.
Spoilers,
we also watched Jeepers Creepers 4.
Oh boy, okay.
Which is called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. We've watched all the Jeepers Creepers movies. Jeepers Creepers Reborn is made by a different group of people because they fired the previous group of people for making Jeepers Creepers 3. Jeepers Creepers Reborn is an awful movie to the degree that it isn't even fun to make fun of. Please don't watch and encourage the people that made Jeepers Creepers Reborn. It is terrible to a degree that we did not even really MST3K it.
Okay.
We were just frustrated to be watching it.
Okay.
No
Similarly,
recommendation
Hocus
there.
Pocus 2, 2 thumbs up for the 90s nostalgia and just sort of fun, turn your brain off. Both Enola Holmes movies have been fun. And then there was a movie that I liked more than I thought I would, The School of Good and Evil on Netflix. Kind of a young adult coming-of-age fantasy story, but really good production values. It has Charlize Theron in it, and Kerry Washington. So, if you have gender preferences like Colin and I find it hard to believe that won't be appealing to one of you. It's just
my wife's been watching a sitcom, a 2-season sitcom. I think it got canceled it's a Kat Dennings thing on Netflix called, not on Netflix, but it's called Dollface. And I was commenting to her last night that the entire cast is attractive women. There's like eight characters and all of them are attractive women. And yet I'm not the target audience. Other women are the target audience. Our country's so weird. All right. So that's it for this week. That's it for this week. Get it? I like that, actually. Colin and Billy will be back at you next Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific. Oh, that's right. Colin will be here without Billy next week, but I will have the Chuck.
Ooh.
So I'll have the Chuck, and I'm going to have him do Billy's job. So that'll be great. And that's going to be next Tuesday at 7 a.m. Just like at Pacific, just like it always is. We have not missed a week. So if you're wondering how to catch us live, it is not hard. Unless you're in Australia or New Zealand, then it's difficult because it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, we're out, and we will be back later for This Week at 40K. I'm Colin, and he's Billy, or he's Billy, and I'm Colin, or something like that. The show that is neither grim nor dark, but covers the grim dark. And we're out. Later, everybody.
Bye, everyone.